All right, my daughter's 2017 Hyundai Elantra SE. We're going to be changing the spark plugs today. It has 150,000 miles on it. When I started it up to do the oil change, I noticed that it had a rough idle and that my check engine light was on. So the check engine light is this orange light right here. So what I did was I took off this this fuse panel right here, which is just this plastic. Just comes off. You don't need any tools or anything. The little OBD port right here is where I plugged in this. This is a very inexpensive scanner. I'll put links to everything in the description. But I was able to get this code P0304, cylinder 4 misfire detected. So that's the troubleshooting I did. And that's enough for me to feel like the best thing that for me to do would be to replace the spark plug. So that's going to be the first step is put that back on there. So I'll put links to everything in the description. These spark plugs are I went with the NGK brand. This is the common OEM spark plug for a lot of Asian made vehicles. I bought these at O'Reilly's. I will put links in the description. These were $16.49 each. I had a $5 coupon, and with tax it came to $66.42. So without the coupon it would have been, $71.42 or something like that. So let's get started. All right, when you're changing the spark plugs, always make sure that your engine is not hot. It's best if it's just at room temperature. So engines stay hot for a long time. So if you try to schedule your spark plug change after your car has been sitting for several hours. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is disconnect the negative battery terminal, just so we don't have any issues with sparking or anything. This is a 10 millimeter extended socket because you got to get over this bolt. So I'm just going to loosen up the negative battery terminal enough just for me to pull this off of here. So I'm just going to take that off, set it where it's not touching anything. So I got that done. What I did with my spark plugs, they're supposed to be gapped to 0.032 millimeters, and they are laser Iridium. So you want to be very careful with these. In the old days, people used to just pry up on these, but you got to be very careful with these laser Iridium. So I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but actually 0.32 inches is what it would have been. So anyway, I've got this slider. So it starts out thin and this angles up. So you put this very gently in between there and you slide it. When it starts to get resistance, you look on your measurement and you can see that we're right around the 0.32. Now, you're already going to be close, but you don't want to hurt that tip. So you want to just very gently pry that if it needs to. But you want to be very careful with these laser Iridiums. Hopefully they'll already be right and you won't have to mess with them. But that's how I do that. That's the gap on them. And so this is a tool that I'm going to say is essential for doing spark plugs. This, out of all the stuff I show you, you can probably get by without some of it, but invest in this. This is a socket made for spark plugs, and these take a 5/8 inch socket, so that's based on this nut size right here. That's what that is. It's what the socket grabs onto, this nut right here. So that's a 5/8 inch. So this is a gear wrench spark plug socket I have right here, and it's a 5/8 inch size. So this is all one piece that you see here. And the reason this socket is so special is it's got a place for this part of the spark plug to go down in the hole. And then it also has a magnet in there that helps hold on to it. And so it'll help when I go to take the old ones out, that once they're loosened, they're not gonna fall off the socket because it's way down in there. So I don't know how deep it's gonna be in there, so just to be ready for that, I've got a 3/8 inch extension. This is 6 inches. And so I can, if I need to, I can put that on there. And then, you know, that way I don't have to worry about whether or not it'll get that out of there. So our first, now that we've disconnected our negative battery terminal, we're gonna remove this cover right here. So you just pops up four attachments, these little things right here. So you just line them up and pop them in and out. So here's our spark plugs right here. So you can use air in a can. This is an air duster. You don't want dust getting down in there because we're going to be getting the spark plugs out. So it's good with this cover removed to blow any loose dust off of here before we open anything up. So I'm going to go ahead and just use this. Okay. So now I'm going to, I want to loosen up all these coil packs. So I'm just going to start here. This is a 10 millimeter. So I'm going to loosen that. I'm going to keep track of these bolts and these washers. Some people might wonder, why aren't you changing the coil packs or the wires or whatever? Well, you can get poor real quick if you start changing stuff that's not bad. So the spark plugs need to be changed. So we'll do that. If that fixes the problem, we'll stop there. If I still have a problem after we change the spark plugs, then we would move on to these coil packs and go from there. So these unplug just by pushing in right here, and then that comes off. That in, I guess. Okay. I really never had one held in that far by this rubber boot right here. So this is a coil pack right here. So let me look first. Yep, if you look down in there a few inches, you'll see the top of a spark plug. So you can see it right there. So that's why you need that specialty tool. It's why it's worth spending a few bucks on something with a magnet, okay? Not positive if I need that extension, but so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go straight down. Okay, see, I like having the extension on. If not, my socket would be right here. I'd be bumping against all this stuff. So I definitely would use an extension. Even a 3-inch extension would be fine for this. This is a 6-inch. Could have used a 3-inch. These are not in there tight. So while I don't think it's necessary to use a torque wrench on the coil packs, you can just snug them up. It's good to have a torque wrench for the spark plugs, but if you don't, you just want to do not over tighten. It's not something you clamp down on. You want to definitely not tighten those too much. Okay, so see how this nicely holds on to that? Also notice we still have our old washer on that plug. So we just grab it, pull it out. Okay. Let's set the old plug over there. Go ahead and take my new plug. New plug. I'm gonna put in there. Make sure it's lined up. You do not need to put any kind of lubricant on these threads. That's something that used to be done back in the day. It's not needed. They make them where you don't do that now. It can cause problems. So any modern thing that you buy, especially from NGK, reputable brand like that, you do not need to add anything to these. So we're just going to put it down in there. And notice I took the ratchet handle off because I don't want any torque. I just want to use my hand to get this threaded so I don't cross thread. Just going to use my hand until it stops turning. That'll mean that the spark plug contacted the base. Okay, so it's contacted the base. I've got my 3/8 inch torque wrench set to 15 foot-pounds, which is right in the middle of the Hyundai range of 11 to 19 foot-pounds. So that's not a lot. An oil drain bolt is 30 foot-pounds, just for reference. So I like this because I don't have to guess. I'm doing it right. Okay, so now we're going to hear a click soon. Click. Okay, so that first one is done right there. I'm gonna put this back down in there. Okay. I'm not gonna hook up my wire because I got these others to do. So see this little clip right here? I'm gonna push down right here and pull. That's how we do those. So we got all of our coil packs all done. I can pop out the second one. Put my boots back in. They're obviously interchangeable. They're the same part. I always put them back in where I got them. So for example, I got the code on cylinder 4. So if I change the spark plug and I left the coils the same, and I still get a cylinder 4, even though I would probably just replace all the coils at the same time, it kind of lets you know it's probably that coil on cylinder 4. So I just try to keep using the same, leave them in the same spot. Okay. Now, finger tighten those at the beginning. It's in the 90s here, as always, in the summer, South Louisiana. So always working in sweaty conditions. Alright, I got them all snugged up. I'm going to go ahead and just use this to get them down there a little bit. So I'm not really tightening it with this, just kind of snugging it up. And then I'll get the regular socket so that I can have more of a feel of how much torque I'm putting on it, because I don't want a lot, but I obviously don't want these moving. So just going to make sure they're good and snug, but not over tightened. That's good. So now I will take where we disconnected the 3 wires. I'll start back here with this one. So what I would like to hear is a click, but I don't know if I'm gonna get that satisfying click. So it's on there, but I'm not getting that satisfying click I would like to get. Yep, there, I got it. Alright, so we got all those on there. So now, put our cover back on. Line up those 2 back ones, and the front one should fall in place. There we go. 4 clicks. So now remember that we disconnected the negative terminal of our battery. So I just want to put this back on there. Okay, so now I give it a quick look over, make sure I didn't leave any tools in there, anything like that. Got my cover on there securely, got my negative battery terminal, don't have any tools. We got all the spark plugs changed. So I'm going to start it up. And the engine light went away. The check engine light is instantly gone. So we did not clear it with the scan tool. It went away. So awesome. So we were able to quickly diagnose with this. I'll put links to everything in the description. And I hope that's been helpful for you. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to respond.